Hey everyone, rather Incoherent here, back with more Rome Total War Remastered as Germania. Last time we finally got our war underway with Rome. We're finally making the progress we need to be making. And it's really jarring when I come back. It's like, oh yeah, there's no one here, they're at 0% happiness. I'm just going to hope I did this right last time. Who knows what's actually happening. Now the Gaul sieging Mediolanum sucks, and Lugdunum doesn't really matter, but it does suck. This is very much the sort of thing where reinforcements armies just have to deal with this. I have no real way of solving it. Have I gotten a ceasefire with Brittany? No. Britannia is still mad at me, and my diplomat is on his way to try to fix that. Like, hopefully, having taken their land, killed their armies, and entirely pushed them off the mainland, they'll be willing to just, fucking admit they've lost and leave. But I have armies here looking for the northwest city of Gaul, here sieging their southmost city. Like, they might take Mediolanum briefly with an actual army this time instead of bribes, but it doesn't matter. Same for Lugdunum, because I will eventually have reinforcements come down and clear that out. God, there is a lot in this city, isn't there? This might just be a fucking massive field battle, and I have no mercenaries I can get to augment my army. That said, holy shit, this is a good army. It's a little bit light on phalanxes, but that cavalry is absurd. I have 7 units of cavalry, 4 of which are generals, 2 of which have silver chevrons, and 1 of those silver chevron generals is my faction leader. Like, the amount of bullshit that this unit is cannot be overstated. And we're retraining a stack here, which will eventually move south. What I'm planning to do is actually not even attempt to fight Rome at first. I'm going to conquer everything else on the Italian peninsula first, because Rome tends to play very defensively. They don't tend to... The Senate, rather, tends to play very defensively. They don't really attack you very much. They were coming to Julia's defense previously. And they also tend to garrison Rome to an absolutely absurd degree.
Yes, my lord.
So coming down here, you can see the Brudii have like some tiny little stacks, not a whole lot, and literally nothing at their second city of Proton. I'm going to come back up and look at Capua on my way, and then this diplomat's just going to be standing next to the Senate, watching their armies move around until such a time as Rome is dead. Now, if I could build a boat, that would actually be quite helpful. Due to my complete lack of anything resembling a navy, I don't feel safe doing this, and I'll probably only lose like a turn or two to get to Capua. So I will be making a land army and walking down, despite the fact that a boat seems so expedient. And it looks like that the whole turn was finished last time I played, so I'm going to go ahead and hit end turn now, and see what happens. Yeah, they're sallying forth because this is just wrong. I have this spread out more than I intended to. I could just hit withdraw, because I know my light cavalry loses their generals, but I'm wondering if I could kill a lot of their spear warbands first. I'm not going to. I'm just going to withdraw.
Lift the siege.
It looks like they took their armies out of the city and left after defending the siege, which is deeply confusing. And since they're actually sallying forth, I feel very comfortable here. Eventually, 5 more Hastati will show up to help them, and that will be pretty intimidating. But all of this coming out the main gate isn't that scary. The big thing is that they have 3 generals, but their army's just so mishmash. They only have... Like, 3 generals sucks. It doesn't matter that their army's assembled poorly, because they have fucking 3 generals. But we can do this. I don't know where their reinforcements are. They haven't actually shown up at the edge of the map yet, which is weird. But what I was going to say is there are several very different ways I can fight this. One is that I send my cavalry off to kill their reinforcements immediately. But the other, and the one I intend to do, is I'm going to use my cavalry to kill whatever comes out initially. Everyone who's holding a ram just needs to drop the ram. So let's quickly do that. Okay. And now I can see that if I actually look at my army, now that it's organized, we've got 4 phalanx warbands. I want them to run up, because what I'm going to try to do is just V-shaped bottleneck this with phalanxes.
Chieftain, units. Chieftain.
And then in the meantime,
Units. Chieftain.
it is the job of my family members to kill everything coming out of this gate. Now my axemen are just going to be getting on either side of the phalanx for now. Skirmishers are going to run up to eventually be involved. And these 3 units of light cavalry really don't have a use for me right now. I think their army should be coming in from the back left, so I'm going to send these to harass the coming army in terms of reinforcements. Or maybe to intercept this general if he runs out the side. I honestly don't know where the fuck their reinforcements are. It's deeply confusing to me. And I want my phalanxes as far forward as they can go. Because right now, my generals are just going to rip apart everything coming out of this gate. Like, it's not even close. Untrained green Hastati don't stand a fucking chance against 4 generals cavalry. What is happening? Oh my god, why are you still in phalanx? Oh man. Well, this has been mismanaged pretty horrifically then. Run this back. Going to form this up here. These axemen are going to need to charge now since I've fucked up on setting up my phalanxes. Here I'm going to set this up to eventually deal with his general. This spear warband can now enter phalanx and just move forward. He's in range of the walls. I don't want him in range of the walls. At this point, I don't think my generals are really involved anymore in this. Now, the rest of these phalanxes need to actually come do their job. And once my phalanxes are really in position, I can start pulling these axes out. The pathfinding is leaving a little something to be desired. Over here, their general is doing what? Nothing. He's actually not even outside the walls. Okay, I'm going to take my second unit of axemen and pull him back now. And have all of these drop into phalanx formation as well. This one needs to move up. This one needs to rotate. This one also needs to rotate. This one needs to move forward. And we're just putting the squeeze on at this point. Now here we can see that they have done what exactly? They have a general, no, an equites, 2 equites, very drawn out, and the general's coming now. So they're moving all their cavalry on this flank. Which means I want my cavalry moving over as well. And here, everything coming out is just getting murdered. I don't fully understand why you're shaped the way you are. This should be completely fine for me. This should be the Hastati dying over and over again. I can't imagine failing there. And this is just going to be a clusterfuck for their cavalry, since they're trying to charge a general... Oh, those are equites. Well, I'm fine with the engagement then. Make sure to split off one of my equites to deal with that. I'm going to have... I don't think these axemen really need to be doing anything, but I'm going to have them moving this way just in case they do. Same with the skirmisher warband. Now, all of this needs to be dealing with the equites. They're light cav, they should break relatively quickly. I don't like that I'm fighting next to a tower, but there's not a whole lot I can do about it. And now we can pull back and start reforming and actually thinking about strategy. What's happening over here? I can't help but notice this phalanx seems to have lost its fucking mind. Well, despite them doing everything wrong, it looks like it's worked. Also, there appears to be something invisible in the road here blocking correct movement. This is weird insofar as, like, they're just hanging out and not really doing a lot with this army. Yeah, so... try to move up just a little bit this time, like I told you to last time. Those poor Hastati just, like, charging through and killing themselves. I do think they're eventually going to try to come fight me on this wing. So I'm going to continue setting up here. I hate spinning so much. It's fine. Like, we're winning brutally here. We've lost 7%. They've lost 33%. So I want my light cavalry being the ones who are flanking. They can't ever engage head on or they'll just break. I keep looking at this, expecting it to somehow be failing. But there's... what is happening here? Oh, there's dogs! I couldn't tell what the hell I was looking at. They're very still for dogs. Now my general will be right next to this. all the other generals fanning out, and the light cav fanning out the hardest. I'm actually going to start pulling this further back, and have the general specifically be all the way over here. Meanwhile, just Hastati dying in the hundreds over here. So it looks like they just have 1, 2, 3, 4, all 5 units of Hastati. No. 4 of them and the Velites. The 5th one is over here. They're not really sure what to do in terms of engaging this, which is good for me. The longer they take, the more units I can kill over here. I assume there's just a mountain of corpses. Yeah. It's hard to get good footing on all these dead Romans. I'm gonna move this up to actually kill them all. Oh, they're actually doing shit. This is a general or Equites? This is a general. So I'm gonna rotate this. I'm going to pull these. Let them move a little bit further. At this point, I'm going to charge with all 3 of my generals. All 4 of my generals, rather. And my axemen. So this general should rout instantly, maybe even die. Do not throw javelins yet. You need to be waiting until we've engaged properly. Okay. That's 1 general's unit completely destroyed, and 2 enemy generals fallen. Okay, these need to fan out even further. These 3 family members need to form back up. Phalanx is over here. I've been doing good work, although I really don't need this last one, so I'll have him start running in this direction. I might need him later. Honestly, this is just set up in such a way that I can charge and chain route all of these infantry. I don't believe for a second they stand a chance if I do this. Just like, you can't stand up to a full charge by cavalry here. And I'm gonna let this go for just a little bit longer before pulling back, because I don't want to fight their cavalry fairly. And now that I've gotten everyone the fuck out of there, we can figure out what they're doing as a response. And it looks like the answer is they're trying to send their general after my light cav. Which is, like, not an actual correct response at all. Have one of these start looping wide, so that I can get more flanks going on. I'm going to charge directly into this with some more units. Yeah, he's routing. This is just cavalry superiority in full display. Jesus Christ.
You have killed the enemy general. Now his men show fear. Now they may turn and run. Attack! Attack!
Yeah, just... Dear God. These poor Julii.
The enemy warlord shows his worth. Nothing. Any of our warriors will die rather than run.
Alright, get all of these guys running up to the gate.
A battle. This is a hunt. No, a coward chase. The enemy warlord lies dead. Now he can drink with his ancestors and watch his warriors flee.
Yep, this is still happening. So right now we're just trying to take this gate, and when we do, what's on the other side? Dogs and Velites? Oh, poor guys. What's happening here? Oh, it's a Hastati that's, like, completely lost its pathfinding. That's fine by me. Alright, so as soon as this goes through the gates, they're just fucked. Because now we can go through the gates. Now, these light cav get out of the way. Just leave it to the generals for this. And this is actually a thing where I can just put this on triple speed. Oh, I didn't expect them to rout instantly. There are some dogs, though, so hopefully none of my family members get killed by dogs. That'll be kind of embarrassing. Okay. I'm shocked this Hastati hasn't broken yet, but I guess it's fine. In fact, let's go give him a hand. I'll have this light cav move in. and get set up for a charge over there. I'll just move these light cavalry in and out of the way. What's left in the center? Is it just a unit of Equites? And a variety of broken units. Jesus Christ, this has been a disaster for the Romans. The only way this isn't the best victory in the war so far is if I lose a general for no reason, so let's not get too greedy. Let's take it slow like we've been doing. So what's going on here? Like, these units should be inside the city by now. Just tell them to leave. Don't let them do this. So have this one break phalanx entirely and try to get inside the city while the other two squeeze. This is not even close to lined up for a charge. Now I can break phalanx on all three of these and just get inside the town. Have this cavalry start moving around. Since they're bringing their Equites down, I'm just going to set up to pincer them. Based on how bad the pathfinding still is, though, I'm not sure I'm going to get to. Yeah, it's just make my generals fight them. There's no such thing as a pincer, because, I mean, every day is Black Friday in Rome Total War. Like, what the fuck is this? It's not even that crowded. They're just still messing it up for no reason. Now, on the other side of this, you know, stuff's happening. I should just skip to the end at this point, like, Jesus. I think at this point in time, there's so little left for the enemy that I'm just going to triple speed with my generals, because I hate fighting this. This is going to be so slow if I keep trying to move my units around. There's no reason for it to be played out like this. Come on, guys, get in the middle. Win the fight. Whatever is left, please kill it. There we go.
No longer a battle, this is a hunt.
Okay, continue briefly. May as well try to get experience. No generals died in that. Hurrah.
The enemy are crushed like beagles beneath your heel. This is a stunning victory.
Heroic victory. I killed, Jesus, like almost 2,200 men? No, almost 2,400 men. And I lost around 200 of my own. 150 actually. Just like, oh god, that's brutal. There goes Arimidum, and I will... I don't want to enslave, because I might need this as unit production. No, I don't. I don't need it as unit production. I've retrained both my armies, I lost nothing. I can get away with enslaving that. And I think at this point, I might actually have largely made up for all of the citizens I turned into armies by enslaving new lands. And we're slowly making our way back into being a functioning society. So, as the Julii, I've got no famous victory maps, and as the Germanics... Oh, I didn't get a famous victory for this one. But still, third heroic victory against the Julii, and I think I've wiped out that faction. Oh no, I haven't. They must have... Yeah, they have Sardinia. Well, such a shame. I will adopt literally anyone every time. He showed up in Arimidum. Fantastic. 2 different towns have expanded thanks to that enslavement. And somebody is rioting. Bordishome. Well, I'll just lower the taxes. I guess they get what they want in the end. There's an alliance between Parthia and Armenia. That's terrible news for the Seleucids. Okay. And I have 7,500 denarii to my name. 2 stacks ready to push further down into Italy. This is actually going quite well. However, if I were to wait ever so slightly, I could get a substantially better infantry corps. That is the stupidest thing I've ever said. The real question is whether or not I want to condense these units and leave behind the wounded ones to retrain. And the answer is yes. So I'm going to leave behind this wounded spearman, this wounded axeman, and this cavalry. And I'm going to start south.
Forward.
Really, I have to deal with the rebels in Rome's land? Come on, guys. Okay, so I'm going to retrain these 3 units and start another spear warband. Here, everything's already been retrained, so the question is just, will they be okay if I leave? Will they start rioting? The answer is no, so I can take everyone and start another spear warband. Why is he right here? Leave.
We shall rule.
I guess I have to kill him now, because he's in the way. Not much of an army. Let's get into it. So, you'll be surprised to hear that I've made a battle line with my cavalry in the front to go surround the enemy, my spearmen in the back, and my skirmishers behind the spearmen. Anyway, I'll be back with you once we've surrounded them and murdered them all. So I'm just trying to move up just enough to get in range of my skirmishers, and once the enemy commits to a battle, then I'll start doing things with my cavalry. Because if I try to surround now, they're going to fight my cavalry, and it's just going to be a one-on-one between generals, and that's not what I want. I want something much more unfair than that. You can see they're trying to come fight these cavalry now, so I'm not going to do that. Instead, I'm going to draw up my generals down here. And he's backed off immediately, so I'm going to strap that. And at this point, I'm just going to figure out who he wants to charge, and then send the other side of the cavalry after the infantry. Now have these cavalry back off. I do not ever want my light cavalry just engaging head-on with their cavalry. Here I'll cancel fire at will. For all of my spearmen, I'm going to break phalanx and charge forward. And this is a situation where you just attack the Roman general and triple speed this. It looks like we didn't actually get his general, though, which is unfortunate. This round didn't quite happen.
The cries of dying enemies are...
So he escapes with 32 general's bodyguard. Not a big deal. The main reason I'm even fighting this is not to kill him. I would clearly have liked to kill him, but because I just need him to get the fuck out of the way so I can continue down to Capua. I'm going to move... Like, I'd have to go through zone of control 3 times to go to Capua through here. So I'm going to head this way. This makes me think I could do a forced draw out with both of these armies combined, though, and actually take Rome now. Well, oh well. Opportunity missed. I also think this army was never in range this turn anyway, since our momentum was further. But, yeah, maybe I could have taken Rome this turn by drawing them out, because, like, I'm not fighting a fucking 20 stack of Roman units inside of huge stone walls. That's just not happening. And I got a Roman turncoat for that, so I'll have +1 command for these coming wars, which is great. Going to retrain those spearmen and recruit more. Apparently Segesta even can recruit spearmen, because there's like the base tier unit for this faction, despite being very good. This army's going to continue heading south. Is it able to pick up mercenaries? It is. But it's not actually getting out of that territory this turn, so I can do it next turn. Don't need to pay their upkeep this turn. Right, finally, let's talk to Britain. Apparently this is saying that he walked this way, because I had clicked on him last turn. Yes. Look, you've lost, right? We agree? Very generous, thank you. So I'm also going to have to ask you to give me a regular tribute of, let's say, 500 for 10 turns.
Very well.
Good, okay. So I get 5,000 denarii, I'm at peace with Britain. Fantastic. And honestly, I expect that peace to last the end of the game, since despite being better at naval invasions, allegedly, the AI seems pretty terrible at it still. Now I'm going to use this tiny, damaged mercenary cavalry to start looking for a city up here. It's right here. We can't make it this turn unless I send just the general, which I'm willing to do if there is cavalry in the like path. So I can hire these units. There are only 3 in the city. Yeah. So I'm going to hire these mercenaries to attack this turn and go siege the city. We're only able to build 1 ram, but any number of rams is good enough. So that means I can join up and attack next turn. And if they sally forth, that's why I needed the mercenaries, not just to build the ram, but so that this could reliably win if there was a general in the building. Which it seems like there wasn't. Here I can see that they're probably going to be happy with just 1 unit. So I'll make a unit of peasants here. Take both of these spear warbands. Start moving them down to Alesia, where I'm going to recruit more spear warbands. Actually, there's no cavalry in this would-be army yet, so I'll recruit cavalry. Getting 2 units of cavalry would give us a total numbers of 4 spearmen, 1 axeman, 2 cavalry. And that's a decent enough small stack to fight anything Gaul's going to throw at it. It looks like I don't have any random armies lying around in my land. Here, Dacia is trying to move past me, but I have the superior army, I believe. So I should be able to attack and kill that. Without a general, I'm not very convinced I'll ever be able to take that city back. I'm going to build muster halls in both of these cities so I can start recruiting spear warbands here and eventually push Dacia. Speaking of, I'm going to start recruiting spear warbands in Segestica and eventually push Dacia. Here I can join these armies up. And I can just attack the city for real this time. And yeah, they've moved a decent number of their defenders away. I saw an army go east and south, and that's just wrong. This all should be in the city defending. So Gaul is about to get ripped apart, much like the Julii were, now that I'm able to like actually focus on them, because Britain's not a part of this anymore. God, look at the command stars, all these generals going after Italy. It's brutal. Okay, so let's deal with this stack right here. Calling it a stack is generous. They've got dogs! Why do they have dogs? Why do people build this unit? The answer, by the way, is usually just that they had no population left, and dogs take the least population. They take 48 population over 2 turns. Odds are the fact that Dacia is recruiting dogs at all means that they have just run out of population in one of their cities. This is unbelievably straightforward. I draw up a phalanx 3 deep, put my skirmishers behind it. I'm going to start the battle and wait a little while for my peasants to join up. This is a sort of hilarious situation where the peasants are going to be acting kind of like cavalry. Once the fight has joined, I'm going to send the peasants out to flank as though they were cavalry. And their main effect will be the morale damage of getting charged in the flank and not the actual damage of them stabbing you with their tiny knives. So I'm almost in range of my skirmishers. I'm going to move my warbands up just a little bit before I actually start skirmishing and cause the fight to engage. And I'm also going to slide them together to get rid of this little gap here that I was worried about. My peasants are going to get a bit closer to the flank. And finally, I'm going to enter skirmish range and start the battle, which should be a fucking slaughter. We've been here many times before. Warband versus Phalanx Warband is not a close fight. Are you just gonna wait for me to run out of ammo? Like, this is fine. This isn't what I thought you would do, but okay. I'm a little bit disappointed in my Illyrian mercenaries for only killing 40 men. But fine, now I have 2 units of cavalry. One's my mercenaries from Illyria and one's my peasants. Going to move the phalanx up unsupported because I don't want them to react to anything else. Like, I just expect them to attack at some point, not just like stand here and wait. Oh wait, it looks like they're about to release the dogs, so stop what you're doing. Yeah, they've leased the dogs. Well, no, they haven't, actually. They're just hanging out. Alright, I'll continue my forward march then. What are you waiting for? Just going to command them to commit completely. Like, come on, do something. I'm right here, man. Alright, at this point I can use my Illyrians to run forward. Yeah, they just broke immediately because it's a fucking phalanx. Stop, stay in formation. Oh man, or do whatever this shit is. Fine, we're reforming a new phalanx. Illyrians, your job is now to fight the dogs. Oh wait, the dogs got loosed apparently. They're coming towards the phalanxes. One of my units routed because, you know, fucking dogs. These peasants are just doing their own thing. Oh, they're not attacking the dogs. They're fucking trying to attack the people who controlled the dogs. This is very upsetting if I actually manage to lose this. Alright, I have to have the peasants attack this, because they just don't understand the attack dogs command.
Your warlord is a cowardly old woman, not concerned with dying like a warrior. He runs.
This is actually fine. Don't believe their lies. Everything is going according to plan. So the dogs were a massive problem. That these guys saw war dogs like, oh, nah, fuck that, I'm out. I ain't doing dogs. And these guys just lost half their unit to not actually engaging with the dogs because the AI breaks when it tries to deal with dogs. But all the same, it looks like we eventually got here. Oh, it's so tedious.
You have killed the enemy general. Now his men show fear. Now they may turn and run. Attack! Attack!
Alright, end battle. Because I can't chase anyone down because I'm all on foot.
Is victory, no matter how close.
It's hard to win fights when your units just like literally don't want to fight. One unit routed the moment they saw dogs, and the other let 2/3 of their members die to the dogs without fighting back. So like, yeah, having so few units that I can't really deal with dogs properly is a problem. It's fine though. The Illyrian mercenaries don't matter that much. The peasants don't matter at all. And I'm building a muster hall, so I'll be able to retrain them in a few turns. Unfortunately, I didn't even wipe out their units, really. I only killed one warband and about 1/3 of their dog unit, it looks like. But I did get a general out of it, so that's just obviously the correct play now. I don't know why I got a general for a close victory. And I can hire a shitload of mercenaries, dear god. In 2 turns, when this finishes and I retrain these spear warbands, this is an army big enough to conquer Dacia now. I was not expecting that. That is a lot more mercenaries than I had any reason to expect. And I believe that's the turn. So, let's get on with it. Oh, right, yeah, I actually do want a ceasefire with Gaul, or I did before I realized I could just take all their cities from them. Yeah, so Gaul's finally making the siege happen. But honestly, this might be winnable if they only have 1 ram. Even if they don't have just a single ram. Like, these phalanxes do really fucking well. Especially in cities. Unfortunately, I'm in a barbarian city, so it's a lot less narrow than other types would be.
Before dark, await my orders.
Oh, there's a spy in the city, or the gates have never been fixed. There's a spy in my city, all the gates are open. Let's get back somewhere else, then. Actually, they're probably coming through this gate, right? Just want to be as close to this gate as I can. The dogs are apparently coming in through a different gate, and they... I don't think the AI recognizes that their gates are down. They seem to be... Well, they must, because they're coming in through this one, right?
Drive them out!
Where are the dogs going to be going? I think I just have to get on the square, man. Like, the dogs are going to be hitting me in the back, I think. Actually, let's stand on this side. Oh, I fucking can't stand on this side, can I? Alright, I'm just going to form phalanx right here. My assumption is that dogs will kill a lot of men, but not all of them.
Ready.
And they can't do anything to morale, so it won't matter that they're killing a lot of men. Yeah. The dogs are doing a fucking lot of work, aren't they? It's fine, I didn't need that general specifically. Yeah, the warhounds are just incredibly obnoxious, aren't they? Yeah, no one's actually stopping to stab them and doing any work. They're all just dying. Oh, well. Oh, no. This is not what I wanted you to do. I made the tragic mistake and actually told them to make a movement command. I could have killed a lot more men. Well, what I've learned there is if you have a phalanx and you expect them to just, like, turn around and stab a dog, they're not going to turn around and stab the dog. They're all just going to let themselves get fucking killed. Okay. If it weren't for the warhounds, that fight seems much more winnable. Or rather, if it weren't for the fucking spy that opened all my gates and let the warhounds in behind us. Oh, it's not a huge deal, though. We have armies coming down to deal with this now. And same for Mediolanum. This one's actually just unwinnable, but we may as well fight it out. It makes me very sad that this is the city that actually gets to defend itself properly, because this is the one without phalanxes in it. Like, this exact fight with phalanx I kill almost their entire army and the general eventually routs my phalanx. Whereas, you open the gates and just send fucking warhounds around the side of my army, like, what am I gonna do with a single unit about that? Look at what's happening here. What the fuck is this? I'm so glad this fight was guaranteed to be a loss no matter what I did. Because, like, imagine actually being committed to watching this fight and, like, trying to do well. Imagine not just trying to make the enemy have a Pyrrhic victory and then that happens in a, like, actual crucial moment. You tell them attack forward, they turn 90 degrees to the right and start moonwalking backwards while they get murdered. I was sort of expecting something like this to happen in the Germania campaign, where at some point I start losing a lot of cities to barbarians just because, like, I'm at war on literally every front with my starting equipment. So what's happening in this turn? Someone came of age, he went to Arminium, and Gaul occupied both settlements. Oh, the guy who came of age is a coward. Nice. Now, I've been recording for almost 50 minutes, so I'm going to cut the video here and handle next turn next time. This has been Rather Coherent. I hope you enjoyed the video, and if you have, then like, comment, subscribe, and all that YouTube jazz. It really helps the channel grow. And I'll see you around.